Welcome to another Eco Sports training video on the Trek bike, training for the B2B. So I've finished the Sydney training. I've done 3 sessions. The videos are in the description below if you want to see those ones. So I'm up to Mt Panorama now. So Mt Panorama is going to be the first part of the B2B. It's going to start from William Street in town in the CBD of Bathurst, come out to Mt Panorama, and it's going to do the 6.2 kilometres of the iconic racetrack. And after that it's going to go out of town and loop around and go back to town again. A total of 100 kilometres for the long loop. So I've got to practice the uphill of the Mt Panorama. Some of it is 20% in steepness in the grade. It's 3 kilometres uphill to the top and 3 kilometres downhill. So I'll see how I go on this session, because this will be the first part of the race, so I've got to be able to do this. This is the iconic pit straight at Mt Panorama. So there's a 6-hour, 12-hour and the famous Bathurst 1000 in October every year. It's also the site of the Mt Panorama Punish last year as well. There's a link to that video in the description as well. So the first part's fairly flat, but from then on around the corner it's going to get a lot steeper. So the aim today is just to make it around the circuit. I'm not too picky on the exact speed, but just mainly to make it, make sure I can get up the steeper sections. So this is the start of the ascent now up Mt Panorama. The racing circuit goes anti-clockwise, so 3 kilometres up, about 3 kilometres down. It's a tough circuit to run it, race in a car or be on a road bike. Either way it's a tough circuit. So I'm just going to take it easy. Got to make sure I don't stall and go too slow because I'm clipped in. And Mt Panorama is a public road, so it's normally a speed limit of 60 kilometres per hour. People do live here. There's a few acreages and vineyards and larger properties. So it is a public access road unless there's a race event on. A little bit of a reprieve here till the really hard stuff starts. So I suspect I'll be down to first gear on the steep bits that are coming up. Get some momentum up. As I said before, it gets up to 20% in incline. It's quite steep. So I may not even complete the lap. It's my first go on a road bike here. Just seeing how I go. So climbing, it's good to be on the tops here. I'm going to drop down to first gear. Right, I'm in first gear now. Got a 28 tooth first gear rear gear. I may have to change the rear cassette to a 32 tooth if I can't make it up. I'll just see how I go. The Trek's got a 50-34 on the front and 28-12 on the rear. So 9 k's an hour at the moment. Just taking it steady. So I'm still going up the incline down to 6 k's an hour in first gear. Getting quite grueling
gone about 1.7 kilometres, still got 1.3 to go. It's getting really tough now, nearly 2 k's into it. Keep crawling in first gear. I'm nearly there, nearly over the steepest bit. So if I had a 32 cassette on the rear, I'll be easier, but I'll be even slower. So I'll stick to the standard 28 cassette on the rear, a bit flatter, one more steep section. Past the Amarok V6 diesel sign, almost to the top. You can see the head of me. So this practice is just to see if I can make it around the circuit. I'll try and do more training to get faster around it later on. Still got about 2 months until the B2B, about 8 weeks. Okay, nearly at the top, going up to 3rd gear. So the advantage of this, you've got a long 3 kilometre descent. I'm just going to be careful not to go too fast. A few S-bends called the S's. Up to 5th in the rear, up to 2nd, large chain wheel on the front. So there's a little bit more of an incline, but I've done the worst of it. Back up to 20 k's an hour. Get some momentum, 8th gear on the rear. View from the top, I'll show you in a second. There's a lot of mist and smoke and dust from the New South Wales bushfires. The smoke's not as bad today. It's a bit worse than Sydney, but not bad enough to wear a mask. There's a park at the top here. See, the lawns are quite dry because of the drought in Australia. Another video, I might do a tour of the park. I can't be bothered today. It's called McPhillamy Park, after Walter J. McPhillamy. Now it's downhill the whole way. As I said, just got to be careful of the brakes, not go too fast. Going around these corners. B2B I'll do in and out cornering, but because this is a normal road still, I'll stay on the left. Just gets me used to what it feels like coming down here. So I'm still learning on a road bike. Ready to go in the bottom hoops yet. A bit more stable being in the hoops here. More aero being in the down the hoops because you're more low down. The air can get over you easier. The last part of the track's got the Ridges Hotel. Every room is a balcony view facing the track. Bottom loops again. Almost back to the starting line. Done it. Feels so good. Let's go right to the end of Pitt Street. Right to the finish line. Done it. Bathurst 1000 circuit sponsored by Super Cheap Auto as a main sponsor. Oh. So I'm really pleased with that. I'll look at the time later, but the goal was just to complete the circuit once, especially up that steep uphill. So I've done it. So I'll be back here for more training sessions. But this is just the first one. And then after that I've got to do some longer rides out of town, other parts of the circuit. So I'll just show you a bit of Pitt Street. This is where the cars come in for tyre changes and repairs and the big races. Each garage is for each team. It's closed off at the moment. There's a famous Mt Panorama racing circuit in Bathurst, New South Wales. Hi.